looking for the blitz.
Tongue is going to boot it deep. That's O'Connor to field it around the 15. O'Connor out across the 35. He's got room. He's at the middle. O'Connor at the 40 to 30. Can he outlast the coverage? O'Connor's into the end zone. Touchdown, Ossining.
The calendar has flipped to August, and now the countdown to the football season in the Tri-State can truly begin. Welcome to this week's edition of the Football Fix on MSGVarsity.com, MSG Varsity Channel 614, and now on Channel 414. I am your host, Kevin Devaney Jr. So much to get to in today's show. You know, the question is this the year of the running back in Long Island? We're going to meet one of the guys, one of the prize names on the recruiting scene as he makes his college commitment. We're going to talk to him later in the show. We're going to have in our MSGVarsity.com reporter, John Malone, to talk some New Jersey football. And we're going to continue our tour around the Tri-State, focusing on the 5 best players in each region as we march towards that Friday Night Football in the first week in September. As I said, year of the running back in Long Island, and when you make a list of the top running backs, you have to include Jordan Fredericks of Lawrence, a 3-time Nassau County champion and truly an elite running back in the Tri-State area. He recently committed to play at Syracuse. We caught up with Jordan Fredericks of Lawrence about his decision and about finishing up his career at Lawrence.
Here's Fredericks now looking for the end zone. He won't get there. He's dangerous with a capital D here. Jordan Fredericks, forget about it. Jordan Fredericks is loose. Look out here. The captain inside the 10. Fredericks will go.
You know, it feels great, you know, knowing what school I'm going to after I finish my senior year of football, and it leaves a lot of pressure from off my back.
You had a lot of coaches that came in and spoke to him about playing slot receiver. A lot of coaches that talked about me about a D-back. So he really changed the way he worked out and lifted, and he's about 195 pounds right now, 197 pounds, somewhere in that range, and he looks like a true tailback right now. And I think that was the key thing with Syracuse is they looked at him and said, no, we want you as a running back, and we don't expect you to play anywhere else but running back.
You verbal to Syracuse. There were other schools who were like, hey, you know, we like him too. If he doesn't want to go there, we'll take him. And but you were always pretty confident, felt very comfortable from an early age with the Orange, huh?
Yeah, I felt comfortable, you know. When I went up there for the spring game, it just felt like family. And I have old quarterback John Kendrick goes there, and I think it's going to be a great experience.
Did he talk to you a lot, in whether it was an official visit or on the spring game, or I mean, did he sort of help a little bit, answer some questions for you about going up there?
He just said, you know, make sure you're making the right decision. If this is something I want to do, it's just my choice, you know. Where I want to go is where I want to go. It's
rare on Long Island, not so much to get, you know, guys on that level, but in the preseason, yourself, you know, Jordan Gowans, Tyrone Perkins from Friends, and Ty Davis from Mepham, the quarterback. I mean, 4 guys going to that level of football says something about Long Island football, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people down us a lot, but we have a bunch of athletes in Long Island that's capable to play D1 football with any other guys from down south.
An explosive talent is Jordan Fredericks of Lawrence, and he ran for 1,543 yards last season and 19 touchdowns on just 115 carries. An explosive player, as Coach said, he's developed his body. He is now college ready, still another year left of high school as they shoot for number 4 for championships in Nassau County. Now you look at the Lawrence schedule for this coming season, and you know, we highlighted a game on this one, and it makes a lot of sense. It's that Plain Edge game, but they open the season on September 13th against Bethpage, and building towards as they make a run for another championship in Long Island. Now, Plain Edge, that was the other team in last year's, the best game in the Tri-State last season was the Lawrence Plain Edge game in the Nassau County Championship, decided on Dan Reskin's field goal as time expired. Well, here's Plain Edge back at it again. 9-2 season last year. They returned Davian Quinlan, who rushed for 1,335 yards last season, and things are building for Plain Edge. They beat Lawrence in the regular season last year, now trying to make amends this year and knock them off and finally win that championship after losing the final the last 3 seasons.
We've had a pretty good team the past couple of years. We've got stopped in the Nassau County Championship game. Obviously, always we want LIC all the way. That's our main goal every year, no matter what, no matter who we lose. We're losing a lot of experience on the line. whole quarterback, obviously, but we got a lot of good players coming up, and I'm really confident in this year's team.
You know, we transitioned in Davian to play from running back to quarterback. He's done it pretty well so far. We haven't had much time with it, but it should be a nice transition. Losing Nick, obviously, we're going to lose something out of our passing game. He was at a different level than everybody else, last year. But I think with Davian in there, we might be a little different, but equally as effective.
Well, we got a great linebacking staff. I mean, we lost a lot on the line with Robbie Oliver and Rob Ing, but you know what? I think we know that, and we're working really hard to work on that. And I mean, linebackers, Jake Schiller's definitely leading that pack. Got great leadership. I mean, we lost someone last year, Billy Reichert, but I think this year he's going to come back with a big spark. I think he's got something to prove. And of course, our secondary, we got John Gallo coming back, big guy in the secondary. And safeties, we got Nick Checkett coming up. I think he's going to be a big player.
So you have Davian Quinlan, Jordan Fredericks combining for almost 3,000 rushing yards last season. It's going to be very fun to watch those two guys get on the field together this season, as of course Quinlan moving to quarterback for Plain Edge, as again they try and make a run and win that elusive Nassau County Championship. Now Rich Riker, we featured him on last week's show, St. Anthony's coach, put a microphone on him, and you get into the mind of Rich Riker. He's a very laid-back, very quiet guy after games, and he's very business-like guy. We got a little fun with him last week. But one of the things you recognized in the profile was that he carries around a little black book, and it's basically a little notebook that he keeps on all of his players. Now, getting in that little black book, it means something to the St. Anthony's players, as we caught up with them last week.
Yeah, I think I'm in the book, it's always a good thing. I mean, I know there's sometimes negative connotations with being known and making yourself known, but in this situation, I think it's like being memorable for doing good, and that's something everyone strives for, and it's a good thing in this situation.
You caught a glimpse of it before. It doesn't look too big. I mean, there's a lot of guys on this team and guys who've been in this team. I mean, do you think he has multiple books, or how does that work, you think?
I'm not really sure. I've never seen the actual book, so I couldn't tell you, but I know it's an honor to be in there. So.
Yeah, usually the book's a bad thing, but in Coach Riker's perspective, it's a good thing. If you get in that book, then you're set. You want to get in that book.
It's strange because it almost sounds like it's like a magical or a mystical thing. Guys haven't seen it, but they know they're in it. Is that like the same for you?
Yes, everyone wants to get into his book. Everyone's trying to get into that book.
Josh, you just made the book.
It's a good thing. You want to be in his book. It's mean that you're leaving the legacy the right way, and that's what you're supposed to do. I'm kind of happy I'm in the book. Never really seen the book, but there's some great names in there.
You can be in the book for a couple of different reasons. Drops, bad plays, bad decisions. And then obviously the good plays are in there too, and we just try to evaluate as much as we can, before the season actually starts.
Maybe one day he'll transition that little black book to a tablet, or maybe he'll do it on his smartphone. Probably doubtful for Coach Rich Riker. But again, we know the last page of that little black book each season, it most likely says championship, CHSFL champions on the final page many times. And as St. Anthony's now looks to win another Catholic school championship this fall, they go into the season with maybe the best player in the state of New York, Jordan Gowans at running back. Going to be fun to watch to see how the Friars fare this season. Now, St. Anthony's, speaking of St. Anthony's, we've been doing some cool promotions here at MSGVarsity.com, and one of them, we did a commercial a couple weeks ago with one of the players from St. Anthony's, Peter Corbett, and now he's become, maybe it's going to his head, fame a little bit. He's become a big star, and we've talked to him about it recently, about stardom here at MSG Varsity.
Oh, yes. I get people telling me all the time, oh, Pete, you're on MSG Varsity, and Instagram page or on the popular page, kind of a big deal.
When we're going to take a break, when we come back, we're going to bring in John Malone, our MSGVarsity.com reporter, to talk about New Jersey football. But first, we're going to take a look at that cool commercial we're doing here on MSG Varsity.
Fakes the handoff. Now looking to throw. In trouble. Hit as he releases. Going long. Fitzpatrick makes the catch to 30. 25-yard line, to the 20, 10, to the 5. Touchdown, St. Peter's Prep.
Expect to hear that sentence often this coming fall. Brandon Wimbush to Minkah Fitzpatrick. Two of the top recruits in New Jersey return for their senior season, and with their college commitments already made, Wimbush to Penn State and Fitzpatrick to Alabama, they can now focus on their final season at St. Peter's Prep.
In the off-season, the coaches are on you really hard, and they all want you to come to school, so they're on you 24/7. You know, it could be a little bit of distraction from the season. And so, yeah, that was a big factor in making my decision early.
Just to be able to commit to my team, really, my high school team, and be able to focus and get back to the state championship like we were last year, that was definitely part of the decision. But, I mean, I also felt very comfortable with the staff and everything.
Having two of the top players in the state on one team, outsiders may think that egos would get in the way, and that couldn't be farther from the truth between Wimbush and Fitzpatrick. They work together to make each other better on the field and share a strong bond off of it.
We're really close. I mean, you would think two guys with huge offers like such would have like egos and probably battle against each other, but me and him are like brothers, and we've been on the same path for the past 3 years. So
my relationship with Brandon, we have a great relationship. You know, I stay at his house sometimes, we hang out a bunch, and you know, we have that quarterback receiver relationship, and then we have that quarterback DB relationship where he doesn't like me when I play against him, but you know, it all gets us better in the end.
The expectations for the Marauders in the upcoming season are sky high. Not only are they looking to capture a state championship, but also a national championship. And with a talented roster filled with Division I recruits, St. Peter's Prep may have what it takes to be playing in December.
Our goal is the state championship, and I think we definitely have a team to do it. Last year we had a great run. You know, we lost in the state championship. We lost Brandon in that game, but you know, hopefully we can get it this year.
We have 2 championships already this offseason, 7-on-7. So we want to get 3 more. We want the Hudson County, we want the state title, and we want the national. We want to be able to compete for the national championship. And Coach Hansen has made that known. So those are our end goals. But first of all, we got to take care of Wise for week 1.
Is St. Peter's Prep the best team in the Tri-State? That's the question that our Mike Quick is going to answer when he does his top 25 preseason poll in a couple weeks. But it's a very good debate and a fun discussion to have now. Brandon Wimbush, of course, puts them in the conversation with Bergen Catholic, and I'll never count out Don Bosco until proven otherwise. But St. Peter's Prep, they're talking about national championship, and there's a lot to contend with in the state of New Jersey. Now, one of our guys in the field is going to help us decide that throughout the season in our Tri-State poll. Joins us now in the studio. That is John Malone, MSUVarsity.com reporter. And John, you know, you've worked your way up here at MSU Varsity. You started in the Hudson Valley. You went to Connecticut. How are things going over in New Jersey?
It's great. I mean, coming from Hudson Valley and Connecticut, great football, but New Jersey is a whole nother level. I can't wait to get out there and check it out.
And check it out. I'm sure one of the teams you want to see is St. Peter's Prep. Now, make a case for them from what you've learned and what you've seen out in this summer when you've gone out. What separates them? What maybe puts them ahead of a Don Bosco or Bergen Catholic?
Well, you know, just from the package we just saw, you know, guys like Minkah Fitzpatrick and Brandon Wimbush, 2 of the best players in the state, maybe the best 2 players in the state, and then other guys like David Tolentino and Jordan Fox. Just that whole class. They lost in the state championship last year to Paramus Catholic, a close game. Wimbush went out with an injury in that game. I think that's really the driving force to get them back there. It's their motivation. Coach Hansen has even said that he said that they've almost too workmanlike, that they're so focused, unlike any other group they've ever had.
Yeah, and you know, you take a look at their schedule right now. There's no easy ones in this one. They're taking on Wise from Maryland. Bergen Catholic right in week 2. That can't be easy, because we're going to be talking about that maybe as the game of the year in the preseason. How hard is it to play a game like that this early?
Well, I think it's going to be pretty hard for Bergen Catholic also. Bergen Catholic's coming off that tough season. It's just one of those premier Jersey Catholic school games. I think it's big for St. Peter's because they have their Hudson County schedule. It's one of those games that really wants to put them on the map in northern Jersey.
Yeah, John, and of course you're going to see week 7 against Union City. We'll talk about that more in a second. They're one of the most intriguing teams. But, you know, St. Peter's Prep, as we said, they're going to be in the mix for, you know, maybe the top team in the Tri-State, and they got to win week 2 to have any shot to be one of the top teams in the nation, as they said, making a national push there. Now, some big news also in the Catholic school ranks in northern Jersey. A big-time transfer, Ryan Adzema, moving over to DePaul.
Yeah, Ryan Adsma is coming over from Wallington. It was just a couple weeks ago that everyone found out that he had transferred. He threw for over 3,000 yards last year at Wallington, a Group 1 school. They didn't have a great year by any means, but he certainly did. One of the top quarterbacks numbers-wise in the state of Jersey, 32 touchdown passes. He's coming for his senior year to DePaul. He started out at Don Bosco in the beginning of his career, and he's trying to kind of get that push, and he might be a difference maker for DePaul to win their own state title.
Now, John, I've known you for probably about like 10, 12 years, and I love your August enthusiasm. You always get excited for some teams. Now you're moving over to New Jersey, and a team that's, I think, maybe got you more excited than anybody is Union City. They have a lot of guys back from a 9-2 team. What do they have mojo-wise going into the season?
It's you talk about coming over to Jersey for the first time. Everyone knows about the Boscos, the Bergens, etc. But now Union City, they have so much returning talent. They have Daquan Kelly, a wide receiver, quarterback, going to Syracuse. He chose it over Rutgers. Jonathan Castellano is going to Old Dominion. One of the best linemen in the state, if not the best, Steven Gonzalez. He's going to Penn State. They have a junior lineman, Ulysses De Los Santos. He's got an offer from Rutgers. And you can't forget Tamaine Boyd, who's a bowling ball running back who's already got offers from Pitt, interest from Miami, Rutgers, Duke, North Carolina, etc. I mean, for a team that didn't even finish in the top 20 last year, for that much returning talent, you don't see that in many places.
They might be amongst maybe the best public school team. I mean, because the poll is so dominated by private schools, maybe the best public school team in the tri-state.
Yeah, they're gonna have. I mean, they lost last year to Montclair in the semifinals. I think that's gonna be the type of battle that they expect again. I think they just want to get through. They took one on the chin from St. Peter's Prep last year. I'm sure they want that one to be closer, and they want to take care of their Hudson County schedule.
Now we look at, there's so many All-Star games in New Jersey. There's not as many in other parts of the state with the Boomer Bowl in Long Island. But in New Jersey, what separated, I think, the All-Star Classic game was the game itself was great, but the 7-on-7 before it, that added to the whole environment, didn't it?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite things. Now, first of all, Brick Township, they got to play on their home field. That was great for the atmosphere. But the fact that they have, the senior all-star game for seniors from the year before, and then they come into this upcoming year, the new guys, to run the 7-on-7 actual championship. We see invitationals like Rutgers or the Grippin' and Rip It and UCanaan, but this is straight up a shore conference battle, Ocean versus Monmouth. It was really fun to watch before the senior all-star game.
And when you watch that, what did you learn? Watching that 7-on-7 before the game started, what did you learn about one of the teams, another team on the rise in Manalapan?
Mattawan.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Mattawan. They. Last year they finished 7-3 but missed the playoffs. They were the only shore conference team to be above 500 and miss the playoffs. But one of the good things about winning the 7-on-7 in the 5-year history now, any team that has won this 7-on-7 all-shore tournament has made the playoffs the following year. And for them to do it against Brick, who's the defending section champion, with a returning quarterback, is pretty impressive.
John Malone, well, thank you for coming in. Thanks for joining us. Going to get out and see that Week 2 game. You have it circled on the calendar, so I'm sure a lot of MSU varsity is going to be at that St. Peter's Bergen Catholic game. You excited for that one?
The best thing about the Jersey football is that there's a lot of games to circle every single week, so we'll see what happens.
All right, John, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks, Kev.
So we talked about the All-Shore Classic, and they had the All-Star game afterwards. We put a microphone on Coach Klein from the Monmouth side and got his take as the game unfolded.
What if we all wore different colored Crocs? What if you had orange Crocs, I had pink Crocs?
I thought you were going to wear your red shoes. I can't believe you're
They're gone. I don't have any more. We're not doing it.
For the coin toss.
Oh, we're doing that right now? What is happening? What is this? Oh, Christmas. We better... Well, they're going to call it. Danny knows what we want.
Wetzel's just going to scream something out.
I'm using Wetzel for the intimidation. I want the football. Hey guys, first play of the game, right? You got a chance to set a tempo right now. You get a chance to set a tempo. Make sure you hit landmarks, find your buddy. We're arm length apart. Drop your pad level and explode on someone, all right? Set a tempo right now. We're here to play physical football. Here we go. Bring it in to the house on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Get your spacing.
Tight end!
Screen! Yes, sir, Danny! Yes, sir, Danny!
Block! Field goal block!
Field goal block! Field goal block! It's keep, QB, keep!
Hey, keep it in!
Hold you. No! He was down! No way! He was down! He was down! He was down! Go Diamonds! Go Diamonds!
You wedge. Under, you wedge. I gotta get off.
Okay. You want to go under right now? You want to take an under snap?
It's just regular diamond? Near it.
Just go regular done. Regular done. Regular done. Regular done.
If you want to run deck, you got to run before you run out of room.
He's got him. Touchdown, baby! Boom! Boom! Whoa! Bang! Yeah, here we go! Here we go! How about backside post? One. Touchdown. Boom! Coach, what do you want to do? Take it. Now take it. Take it! 1-1-1-1-1.
Welcome to the Football Fix. I'm your... Come on, man. Seriously again?
Looking for the blitz.
As we continue the countdown to the football season in the Tri-State, last week we started a feature with 5 weeks to go, profiling the top 5 players in each region. We continue it this week, starting in New York City with Elio Velez.
New York, I'm Elio Velez. Deontay Roberts is another player from Erasmus Hall who's following the footsteps of Division I players like Curtis Samuel and Wayne Morgan. Deontay Roberts, 6'2", 220-pound linebacker, had committed this summer to Rutgers University. Roberts' size and speed and was a part of a big-time Erasmus Hall defense that only allowed opponents to score 1 touchdown in only 2 games last season. Roberts will be the main focal point of this year for Erasmus Hall. And if their defense just does as well last year, they could be title contenders once again.
Mike Kinney in North Jersey. Behind the steady work of Tommy Hatton and teammates Kevin Wilkins and Austin Stapleton, the Green Knights accumulated over 4,500 yards on their way to a 3rd straight non-public Group 3 title last year. The 6'3", 280-pound Hatton drew praise both as a punishing run blocker and dependable bodyguard for quarterback Spencer Allcamp whenever he dropped back to pass. Hatton's already enviable status was raised in early July when he earned one-on-one MVP honors at the opening, a prestigious camp in Beaverton, Oregon, run by Nike. Hatton has issued a verbal commitment to North Carolina, where he's likely to play center in the future.
I'm Greg Lerner in the short conference. Only a junior, Madawan Zaleem Shaw is like a defensive magician that keeps a quarterback's head on a dizzying swivel, trying to figure out where he's going to materialize from next. At only 6 foot and 185 pounds, Shaw doesn't strike you as having the frame of a dominating interior defender. However, his read, speed, and ceaseless engine powered Shaw to 17 sacks and 30 tackles for losses, both tops in the short conference, as well as 111 tackles overall.
In Connecticut, I'm John Malone. Fairfield Prep's Colton Smith exploded onto the scene in 2013 by nearly knocking off St. Joe's and orchestrating big wins over Shelton, Xavier, and West Haven twice to reach a state championship game. Last season, Smith rushed for 1,736 yards and 27 touchdowns. He threw for another 1,588 yards and 9 touchdowns, completing over 60% of his passes to become one of the top dual-threat quarterbacks in the state. With Smith and wide receiver John Delasanti back, Fairfield Prep's sights are set on another championship run.
Smith out of the gun. Looks to the left, over the middle, has his man, fingertip catch.
From Long Island, I'm Dylan Butler. There's a rich history of terrific quarterbacks at Sayville High School, from Stephen Ferrara, who broke all kinds of Long Island records until Joe Capobianco from Lawrence broke those last year, to Zach Sirico. The next great one, though, is Jack Cohn. As a 7th grader, he studied the varsity playbook of the Golden Flashes. As a 8th grader, he won all 6 games that he started. What did he do last year as a 9th grader? Simply led Sayville to the League 3 championship game against Huntington. He threw for 21 touchdowns, 1,600 yards, rushed for 2 more scores. There's simply nothing that the 6'3" sophomore can't do on the football field. He's also, though, a terrific lacrosse player, so at some point he'll have to decide between lacrosse and football. But right now, if you're talking top 5 players on Long Island, Jack Cohn is among the greats.
In the Hudson Valley, the most menacing presence in the Valley is Eric Favors, the senior two-way lineman at North Rockland High School. You see him right there, 5'9", 240 pounds. He has cinder blocks for shoulders, and he's as good as advertised. A 4-year starter, 3-time All-State player. And one coach told me last season, the toughest player to game plan against that he's ever gone against in 15 years as a head coach. Led them to a championship as a freshman, led them back to the section finals the last 2 seasons. Eric Favors enters the season as a top football player. Really, his future though is a shot putter. He's an SEC caliber shot putter, a state champion as well. Penn State as well, also in the mix. LSU, all the big schools across the country, all after Eric Favors as a shot putter. Now, North Rockland in the mix to win a Section 1 Class AA championship. You're also going to have John Jay's Fishkill and New Rochelle. Who's the 4th team? I like Scarsdale. I think Scarsdale's a team, when you look at the talent they have, especially at the skill position, can compete with the big teams in Section 1. Now, they have a tough schedule ahead of them. They have North Rockland. They have New Rochelle as well. But Scarsdale, when you have James Nicholas, an exceptional 3-sport athlete, and Giancarlo Cugini at quarterback, a lot could be made this season for the Raiders.
We just got to believe that we are as good as every other team. That's how we beat New Rochelle. Really, we don't want to. We want to have an even playing field the whole season. We're gonna go up to a team and say we're just as good as you. Let's play. It's really not gonna look like that. Like we're less of a team than the people across the ball from us. We're gonna try to play to our best and just act like we should be there with them.
I mean, we got a big junior class, or going to be senior class now, but our quarterback, running back, all of our defense, linemen, our line is the biggest part of our game. We have huge linemen this year. They're all strong, Will Eister, Michael Roberts, Jack Bush. I can't name them all, but they're all, fantastic linemen. Mm-hmm. And just to run behind them is going to be, the biggest part of our team this year.
MSU varsity reporter John Malone focused on Fairfield Prep a moment ago with Colton Smith and John Delasanti. They're both back this season after putting up huge numbers as Fairfield Prep reached the Class AA state finals. They're looking to get back to the final this year and win a championship.
Yeah, we broke the SEC record, I believe. He broke it for the most receiving yards. So yeah, we always work really hard. When we came here, we just had that connection. Mm-hmm. I threw it to him, and he made it happen with his legs.
So what was the connection like? Kind of when did you know that you guys were going to be able to put up big things?
Probably in the first couple weeks of practice when we got here.
As freshmen?
Yeah,
okay.
And then he just was fast. He was physical. Mm-hmm. He'd go up and fight for the ball, and I just knew I could trust him to throw it up when we needed a big play.
Connection's unbelievable. So much of our pass game is him knowing where I'm going to be and me knowing where he's going to be. So much of our offense is timing, and connection to chemistry between Colton and not just me but all our receivers it's key with our offense.
At what point did you kind of know that this could be something special?
Definitely, workouts in the summer before the season started. We could kind of tell immediately that he had a great arm, and I was at the spots where he needed me to be when we were throwing the ball.
Now, those guys were big names in the state of Connecticut last season. A guy who's really burst onto the scene the last couple of months in New York City from Cardinal Hayes is running back Tim Poindexter. He's only going to be a junior, but the recruitment level for him has skyrocketed as he's gone to camps and combines this summer. We talked to Poindexter as he now enters his junior year at running back, being the featured back, and the college potential that waits ahead.
I truly expected it because during the off season, our team came together and we worked harder than I've ever worked in my entire life. So when you work that hard, all you can do is expect results. So it wasn't really a surprise to me.
Coach O'Neill, told me a lot about you before, sophomore year. And what did you want to do in your sophomore year to help this team? And where did you feel like you contributed the best to this team?
I was a defensive player coming out of freshman year.
Right.
I didn't really play running back. I played linebacker, outside linebacker. But Coach O'Neill took me aside and talked to me about playing running back, and I didn't really argue with it because it's the varsity coach. Anyway, I was able to help my team. I was willing to do it, but it was a new experience for me, and I was able to adapt and to take the running back position and be good at it.
You've gotten a lot of offers from that too. Tell me about the offers you've received so far.
So far, I've received offers from Rutgers, Old Dominion, Ohio, Toledo, and that's pretty much it for so far.
You've had a good summer. I've heard. You did well. I think at the Rutgers camp, and also you went to Jacksonville.
I actually did, yeah.
Tell me about what happened in Jacksonville.
Actually went to the Rivals camp in New Jersey, July 12th, and actually performed well there. And they invited me to the Rivals top 250 underclassmen, as in Jackson, Florida. And I went down for one day. It was a great camp. A lot of high competition, probably the best competition I've been against in my entire life. But it was a great experience for me. I felt like I had a great performance. I felt like I got my name out there even more. I feel like that's just a warm-up, and I'll be able to do even better when it comes on during the season.
That's going to do it for this week's show. I want to thank John Malone coming in, talking New Jersey football, and I want to thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. So much more as we count down to the football season in the Tri-State. Thanks for watching The Football Fix, and we'll see you next week.
Looking for the blitz.